Alright, so I'm making this video to share some of the knowledge I've learned over the years of making vocal tracks specifically for punk rock and heavier stuff. One of the main things I'll point out before I even talk about what plugins to use is that I've tried a couple of different mics throughout my life, and I started with the Yeti Blue microphone, which is awful for recording vocals, which I realized over the years. But there's two different kinds of mics. There's condensers and there's dynamic mics. Basically, the main thing is condensers are more sensitive and they can pick up sound from pretty far away, whereas dynamic mics are they can adjust, like they can take in different varying volumes and still sound good. Like you use a dynamic mic to capture a loud guitar amp or what I'm getting to is that actually the SM57, pretty much like the go-to dynamic mic, that has been my favorite mic to use for vocals recently. If you have a very loud and very gritty voice, I highly recommend using this for recording your vocals. Most people tell you to record your vocals with a condenser, and that is true for a lot of genres. I think in hip hop and R&B, a condenser is a lot better because, well, for rapping specifically, you're not shouting as loud as someone who's like singing an aggressive like grunge vocal. So that's why it really matters the volume of how you're singing. That being said, I think that condensers are very much like of the new age, and dynamic is more like an analog, kind of a warmer sound, I guess. Whereas condenser is very crisp. Personally, like for my voice, it condensers add a lot of high end like treble that really sounds bad. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get to the video. I tried to set this up pretty simple. I have this song that I wrote, "Don't Let Them Skate," and here I'll just let you listen to it for a second. All right. So what you so I have just really simple one guitar track right here, one bass track, and then what I like to do for the vocals is I'll have one track be kind of cleaner, even though this does have overdrive on it, and then I'll have one track that I add like all the dirty effects to, which I usually put quieter, but it just kind of ended up this way in the recording. So we're going to start with a blank vocal track, and I'll walk you through the steps of how to make it sound good. Because the truth is, you never are going to have a blank, unedited vocal. It always sounds bad, pretty much. Like if you wonder how people get their voices to sound so good, it's because recordings are way different than hearing a live performance. In fact, it's very hard to try to capture how a live sound sounds. When you're trying to record. So the first thing you want to start with, and we'll just solo this so you can hear what it sounds like blank.
Listen up, punks, don't put me to the test. I'm a mean, mean man with a penchant for arrest. You're tearing up the streets, but your house is still a mess.
So that honestly doesn't sound that bad, and that's what I want to say. The key here is the best way to get a good recording is to practice your vocal parts over and over again. You can record your, crappy beginning takes just to see how it sounds and help you write the song. But you want to make sure you can perform well, and that means knowing how to sing into a microphone, like knowing how far to put your face to it, making sure you use a pop screen. And then the other thing is you want to make sure you have a monitor. What a monitor is just having you hearing your voice played back to you. But the key is you don't want your monitor to be dry like this with no effects, because it's really hard to sing when your voice sounds so like crisp and in front of your face. Like it it throws the singer off pretty much. You want your singer to hear their voice with the reverb and the delay all soaked in, because it gives the singer confidence, because it sounds better immediately. The way you can make sure you do that is you go up to Logic, you go to Preferences, Audio, and then for general, something like this, make sure your input device is selected, the right one. But you go to General under Audio. Make sure that the only one checked off here is Software Monitoring, and then down here, make sure you check Playback Pre-roll. Low latency mode is so when you do this, your vocals are going to have a slight delay depending on what plugins you use. So that can throw you off a little bit, like hearing your voice come back to you like a second, like a couple of milliseconds later than you expect. Low latency mode gets it so you have that immediate snapback, like it'll reach your ears immediately. But I will say that it cuts the volume a lot sometimes, and it's unpredictable how it works, and sometimes it ends up with the worst recorded takes. So sometimes you just have to get used to hearing the slight delay. Yeah. So that's that, and then once you have that in, you can have your you should be able to hear your vocal sound in your ear. Got the most important part, to click the I on next to the little R, and now you see. And immediately that picked up the microphone I'm using, and the feedback you hear is this is the monitor. It's coming through on the speaker that I have my computer plugged into. Apologies for the loud noise, but yeah, click the I. Okay. Now the first thing, every single track you do needs to have a compressor. It's just, a compressor is a ubiquitous tool that is used on every track, because what it does is it equalizes the volume. It makes the low, quieter sounds louder, and it makes the loud sounds quieter. So it kind of squishes the sound into a more even sounding thing.
You're a third-rate clown in a second entrant.
So it's so the attack means how quickly the compressor reacts to the vocals. The release is how quickly it takes off its compressor. You can think of this as like the sound wave. Like, this is the rise of the wave, and this is the fall of the sound wave. Threshold, you want to adjust the threshold until the highest you have your little thing bouncing here is at -6. So I'll show you what I mean.
Listen up, punks, don't put me to the test. I'm a mean, mean man with a penchant for arrest. You're tearing up the streets, but your house is still a mess. You're a third-rate clown in a second entrant. Don't let them skate, but it makes me
So I'm gonna do it around there.
Makes me wanna. Don't let them skate, but it makes me
So this is without?
Makes me wanna skate. When I'm alone, I don't need nobody else but my board. I don't need nobody else.
So it makes things louder, which is good, because you want your track to get up to the volume standard of the industry standard of volume. So right after EQ, the other ubiquitous thing, you use this on every single instrument you put in, is EQ. And this is a neat trick with the EQ that I learned from my brother, actually. So what you want to do is, you're always going to want to take off the highest high end and the lowest low end, because humans can't even really hear this, and if we could, it's just going to be piercing. So you can kind of create a steep shelf there, and I'll change it later. And then with this, you don't want to have muddiness in the vocals, because the bass is going to be occupying this space. We can't really hear anything from like 20 to 40. It's just going to sound like mud. So you can really take off a lot, but what you want to do is turn on the analyzer and see where the spikes are.
Listen up, punks,
So it's on right now. Like, you can take it off, but you want
I'm a mean man with a penchant for...
You want the analyzer to be post. You can change it pre or post, but you want it to be post because it's saying it's analyzing it after your plugins come in. I think, at least. So yeah, here's the neat trick. So what you do is you can start anywhere. Like, let's start with the blue one right here. And see how it raises the whole thing up? If we double click that, we can shrink it. And we have this little thing right here. And what we can do is we do a sweep of the sound and see where the harshest frequencies happen. And then we'll reduce it. So a lot of the time when you EQ, pretty much most of the time, you want to be doing reductive EQing. You don't want to be adding more treble or more bass. That means that you should try to get if you want a more bassy or more treble sound, you should try to do that while you're recording, not while you're mixing. Because you're kind of like making up for past mistakes to like put a band-aid on it. So it creates the least amount of noise and mud, basically. All right, so here we go. Let's try to find the harsh frequencies.
Listen up, punks, don't put me to the test. I'm a mean man with a penchant for rest. You're tearing up the streets, but your house is still a mess. You're a third-rate clown in a second-hand trend.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
Don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna. Don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna.
It's subtle.
When I'm alone, I don't need nobody else but my board. I don't need nobody else. You cannot tame.
And personally, I don't like the sound of trebly vocals, so I'll take off like this much, honestly. And it might just be my voice. But yeah, I take off a big chunk of like the really high end. But I'm going for that kind of garage rock, lo-fi sound here, so it depends on what you want. All right, so let's grab another one of these and see what kind of middle frequencies are bad.
Listen up, punks, don't put me to the test. I'm a mean man with a penchant for rest. You're tearing up the streets, but your house is still a mess. You're a third-rate clown in a second-hand trend. Don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna. Don't let them skate.
Are you sick of the song yet? Let's see how this sounds just by its... Here, let's finish this. We'll take this green guy here, shrink him. See, I can already tell by these mountains over here that this is probably gonna... At 500 is probably gonna be the spot that we have to reduce. It's really neat because music is not just feel, you know? Like, there's real mathematics behind how to make something sound good consistently. So it's like a combination of the right and left brain. All right. Let's see.
Don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna skate. When I'm alone, I don't need...
If it sounds like your voice is going through like a glass tube, then that's where you want to reduce that frequency. Let's see. Where did my dot go? Is it gone? It's too high. Okay.
Don't need nobody else but my board. I don't need nobody else. You cannot tame me. No way, kid. You try to tame me. Blocks on the curb, watch the crowd disperse. Disturbing the public, how dare you have the nerve? Your brain cells are bleached from baking at the beach. There's the solution behind the pollution. Your eyes, don't let them skate. Don't let them...
Alright, so I think this is good for that, but let's see how it sounds right here, and we'll forget these two vocal tracks.
It's enough punks to put me to the test. I'm a mean, mean man with a penchant for rest.
That already sounds pretty good to me. And that doesn't even have reverb or echo yet, so... delay and echo are the same thing, by the way. I like this one, personally, but... And by the way, I'm going to only be using software that comes with Logic. I did not have to buy any of these plugins. These are the stock plugins. And the stock plugins of whatever digital audio workstation you use will definitely be fine. You can buy all the fancy bells and whistles, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's really your performance that affects how good something sounds. Like, there's only a few parameters you need to change to make it sound, to mix it. It's really just compression, EQ, delay, delay, reverb, and overdrive is optional, but I use overdrive in my songs because I like the heavy sound. So you want to make sure less is more when it comes to reverb and echo. Let's see how this sounds.
Listen up, phone. I don't need nobody else but my board. I don't need nobody else. You cannot tame me. No way, kid. You try to tame me.
I like that. That's solid.
Blocks on the curb, watch the crowd disperse. Disturbing the public, I tell you have the nerve. Your brain cells are bleached from baking at the beach. There's the solution behind the pollution.
Alright, and let's also add in some reverb. So I like to go to the Space Designer, and I like having that washed out reverb like you hear in surf rock. So go to halls and large spaces, halls, and then I think some of the nice ones are male Vauxhall is good. Warm vocal hall is cool. Dream Hall is the one I use for a lot of my songs, so we're gonna do that right now. And then for this, you want to go to the output EQ over here and take off all those high ends that pierce your ear, and why not the low ends just for the mud. You usually don't want the length super long, but here, let's hear how it sounds. It's gonna be super exaggerated. Yeah.
Don't let them skate, don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna skate. When I'm alone, I don't need nobody else but my mood. I don't need nobody else.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna add one more thing just for you to hear it. You don't have to add this because it sounds fine right now, but overdrive helps it. Overdrive gets rid of some of the high end while also boosting the volume. You'll see.
It's enough punks to put me to the test. I'm a mean, mean man with a penchant for rest. You're tearing up the streets, but your house is still a mess. You're a third-rate clown in a second-hand trend. Don't let them skate, don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna.
See, now that I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that there's too much echo or reverb, something. Like, you want this to be nice and subtle. I recommend adding all the crazy stuff you want to do. Just make another vocal track, and then you can have more exaggerated echo and space reverb, and you can have like more distortion too. But yeah, so let's take off a little bit more of the reverb here.
Makes me wanna, don't let them skate, but it makes me wanna skate. When I'm alone, I don't need nobody else but my boat.
Yeah, I think that's enough for one lesson today. So I hope you learned something. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Try to give me ideas for topics in the future. I really have a lot of experience with various different aspects of recording, writing music, mixing, mastering, distributing. Yeah, so let me know if you like this, if you want to see more of this kind of content, or yeah, let me know what you want to see also. Anyways, see you in the next one.